we have, I think, gone through the 35 Buddhas practice very well. We went over the outlines of the karma section from Lamrim Chenmo. And then there was a request to go over the Vajrasattva purification practice as well. So I thought we could do that and then just conclude with some final thoughts and summary of what we've covered. So again, let's jump right into it. And we first do this by adjusting our motivation for taking this teaching here today. So please think that the purpose of my life is to benefit all sentient beings. And in order to do that in the most effective way, I first must achieve the state of complete enlightenment. Then and only then will I have the skills, qualities, and knowledge to guide sentient beings most effectively from the oceans of samsaric suffering to the state of liberation and enlightenment. And in order to do that, I must accumulate all the causes to achieve enlightenment, as well as purify my mind of all the obstacles that prevent me from achieving enlightenment. And therefore, I'm going to participate in this teaching here today. Okay. So, do all of you have the Vajrasattva practice that that I had wanted to go over?
Yes, Andrew.
Okay, great. Those of you who are tuning in later, this is available for donation-only download on FPMT education site. So you can find this a short Vajrasattva meditation, purification with the 4 opponent powers. So, you know, as we had mentioned before, you know, although we might have accumulated various negative actions, both in this life or from previous lifetimes, then anything can be purified with the application of the 4 opponent powers. And so, as we know, then within the 4 opponent powers, we had said, you know, there are the 4 R's, right? So we have regret, refuge, and then remedy. And then actually, I have a nice slide about this. Okay. So we had, you know, mentioned this, right? In the Shantideva's Compendium of Trainings, then there are 6 main types of remedies that are listed. So the 35 Buddhist practice is dependence on names, right? Depending on reciting the names of the Buddhas, then we can purify. And then the practice of Vajrasattva is included in the dependence on a recitation. So in particular, this practice of Vajrasattva is very renowned. It is also one of the, well, amongst the Tibetan traditions, most traditions have, you know, the 4 or 5 preliminary practices. And then in the Gelugpa tradition, we have the 9 preliminary practices. So the practice of Vajrasattva is included, you know, across all the Tibetan Buddhist traditions. And even the practice of Vajrasattva, you know, it was so widespread. Then even when you go to Bodh Gaya today, around the Vajra seat, the main stupa at the Vajra seat, then you can see a depiction of Vajrasattva there. Okay, so it's not just something that the Tibetans made up. And then there is a quotation. I don't have it with me right now, but it is, there's an analogy given that just like if there is a flock of birds, right, and just by, you know, throwing one stone, I mean, don't do this, it's just an analogy, but by throwing a stone towards the birds, then all the birds scatter away. So too, you know, even one recitation or the recitation of this one mantra of Vajrasattva can purify many, countless negative actions. Okay, so let's go back to this. Okay. Anyway, a full commentary on all the benefits, would take a lot longer. So I'm just giving you a little bit of the benefits. It is said that, by doing 100,000 Vajrasattva mantra recitations properly, then one can actually purify all of the negative karma accumulated since a beginningless rebirth. So there's a big caveat there, done properly, right? So I know, many people have done the Vajrasattva retreat. They have done 100,000, mantra recitations. I rejoice for them. It's very good. But, as Shantideva said, that, even whatever recitations we do for countless eons, they'll have little effect if done with a distracted mind. So, many of us, when we try to do, it's not a perfect recitation. Nonetheless, we do the best we can, right? So anyway, let's just jump right into the practice now. So a short Vajrasattva meditation, purification of the 4-point powers. So this particular version that is being discussed today, it is very good for a daily practice. If you are going to, go on to do a retreat or try to do the 100,000 accumulation of the mantra, there is this book, right? The Preliminary Practice of Vajrasattva, that is also available on FUMT website. And then there's this book by Lama Yeshe, The Tantric Path of Purification by Lama Yeshe. In there, he gives a commentary to the practice designed primarily for those who are about to undertake the 100,000 Vajrasattva retreat. So there is more advice about, how to do the retreat. Today, we're going to just, talk about it, how to do the practice. For daily, daily practice. One of the benefits of doing this practice, we mentioned before in the four general features of karma, that there is, this aspect of karma that it increases every day. So all of our karma, it, doubles in its potency and its strength day by day. But by doing the Vajrasattva recitation with the 4 opponent powers, doing either 21 of the long mantra or 28 of the short mantra, then that can, stop this effect of the doubling and increase of our negative karma. So, of course, we don't just want to do that, right? We want to go even, beyond. It's kind of like if we have a large credit card bill, yes, we can pay the minimum balance every month, but, it'd be better to do more than that so we can, get out of debt even more quickly. So similarly, although that is the benefit of doing 21 mantra recitations, then we don't want to just leave it at that, okay? So anyway, first it begins with a visualization. So I'll just, do a brief commentary while going through these points. So seated on your right side is your father, on your left side your mother, your enemies and the sentient beings who disturb you are seated in front of you. Your friends and all to whom you are attached are seated behind you. All other sentient beings in human form surround you. Okay, so this is a common visualization that is done. We can even do this while we listen to teachings. Think that we're doing it with all sentient beings. Whatever kind of practices, we can do this visualization. And then this, visualizing all sentient beings in human form, they say that is auspicious connection. although there are countless sentient beings in the, hell realm, hungry ghost realm, and animal realm, then to visualize them in human form is considered very auspicious. Okay, so all sentient beings in the space around us, and then we visualize the objects of refuge in the space in front with either the elaborate visualization of one into many, as in Jorcha. Okay, so Jorcha, or the preliminary practices, those of you who might be familiar in the Lamrim teachings, there is a visualization that is described also in Liberation of the Palm of Your Hand, where Shakyamuni Buddha is the central figure, and then on the right and left are the various lineage gurus. Below are the other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. This is quite similar also to the Lama Chöpa merit field, where there in the middle is Lama Tsongkhapa. At his heart is Shakyamuni, and at Shakyamuni's heart is Vajradhara. Okay, so the one into many, right? Then you have the central figure, whether it be Shakyamuni Buddha, or in the case of Lama Chöpa, it's Lama Tsongkhapa. And then from Tsongkhapa's heart, or Shakyamuni's heart, then these light rays radiate out, and then it has at the tips of them all of the root and lineage gurus, and then all the other various Buddhas. Okay, so that is why it's called elaborate, right? Or there's the simple visualization of the many into one. So you can visualize just Shakyamuni Buddha. Okay, well, here the important thing, your guru appearing in the aspect of Shakyamuni Buddha, and then this is the encapsulation of all the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, right? So it says, right, then the mind of the Buddha, right, symbolizes the Dharmakaya, right? And so that is symbolic of the Buddha jewel. Okay, the speech of the guru, or in the aspect of Shakyamuni Buddha, is symbolic of the Dharma, and then the body of our guru Buddha Shakyamuni is representing the Sangha. Okay. So then, as you recite this verse, think you're taking refuge and generating bodhicitta together with all sentient beings. So here it's not mentioned, but many of you know, then, the causes for taking refuge then is to have, some fear of something undesirable that you don't want to experience, and then having faith in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha as having the power to protect you from those undesirable circumstances, right? So I like to, before reciting this, just briefly consider the qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and then you have this wish to generate those qualities within your own mental continuum, and that's why we must then take refuge. Okay. Means to devote ourselves to the path of Dharma taught by the Buddha. So here is the normal refuge formula that was composed by Atisha. So I take refuge until I'm enlightened, the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly. By my merits of generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. So here, just one note. Here it says Soknam Ki. Okay, so you do see it also Sunam Ki. So actually, Sunam is the merit. Sok is just like the Sok offering. It means a collection. So sometimes you'll see it, by my collections of generosity. So the collections would be the collection of merit and the collection of transcendental wisdom. Either way, just know it means all this the virtue that you make through your practice of the six perfections, right, and so forth, right? It means not the generosity is the first perfection, and so forth. Think of the other five perfections. So by the merit, by the force of the good karma of those practices, then may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings, right? Which, is the essence of the mind of bodhicitta, right? Okay, so then we have, that was the power of the reliance, right? Now we have the power of regret, okay? So then here, similar to what we had at the beginning of the 35 Buddhist practice, then we sort of make a bit of a motivation to really get this power of regret very strong. As you remember, the stronger this feeling of regretting your previous misdeeds, then the stronger the purification is, okay? So here it says, first recall the definition of negative karma, any action that results in suffering. And generally, this is an action motivated by ignorance, attachment, or anger, okay? So yeah, now we're gonna elaborate. So first, we remember all our negative karma. Almost every action I do 24 hours a day is motivated by worldly concern attached to the happiness of this life. It has been like that from beginningless samsaric rebirth, and it is like this from birth to death in this life. Near the action I have created has been non-virtuous, the cause of suffering. Not only that, but I have also continuously been breaking my pratimoksha, bodhisattva, and tantric vows. Worst of all, I have created the heaviest of negative karma in relation to my virtuous friends, harming their holy bodies, disobeying their advice, disturbing their holy minds, having non-devotional thoughts, and giving rise to heresy and anger. Having all these negative imprints on my mental continuum is unbearable. It is as if I had swallowed a lethal poison. Therefore, I must purify all these negative karmas immediately with an antidote of 4-point powers. Okay, so a lot of this, it's almost identical, and you could use these interchangeably with the one, whether you're doing the 35 Buddha practice or the practice of Vajrasattva, any kind of purification practice you do, this motivation and the opponent power of regret will be the same, right? The only thing that we're changing is the remedy, right? But the other three, the reliance or the refuge and the resolve not to do the negative actions again is going to be the same no matter what kind of purification practice you do, okay? So first we remember all our negative karmas. And again, we thought from beginningless rebirth, right? And then, we thought of all these, broken vows, and then thinking especially of the heaviest negative karma in relation to our virtuous friend. So even if you have the good fortune to have very pure samaya with your guru, your virtuous friend, and you haven't done any of these actions in this life, right, disobeying them, harming them, so forth, then, since beginningless samsara rebirth till the present, you would have done that, even if it's many, many eons ago. And through the strength of how negative those negative karmas would be, then you still need to continue to purify that, because they could still have some, effect, the subtle imprints on your mental continuum. Okay, so now we have remembering impermanence and death. So here, bringing some urgency to our practice. So here, thinking many people my age or younger have died. It is a miracle that I'm still alive and have this incredible opportunity to purify my negative karmas. Death is certain, but the time of death is totally uncertain. If I were to die right now, I would definitely be reborn in the lower realms. Because I could not practice Dharma there, I would remain in the lower realms for countless eons. Therefore, how unbelievably fortunate I am to be able to purify my negative karmas right now without even a second's delay by practicing the Vajrasattva meditation. Okay, so again, most of this, you should know. These are the basic, teachings on contained within the Lamrim and the practitioner of lower capability, right? So thinking that death is certain, and since on balance, since beginningless rebirth, we've committed so many more non-virtuous negative karmas that would then have us take rebirth in lower realms. And then, since we could not practice Dharma there, then once we're reborn there, then as Shantideva says, if we are, reborn in the lower realms, then we won't even hear the phrase, a happy rebirth for countless eons. So now that we have this opportunity, while we still have this precious human rebirth, we have to make the best use of it. by practicing this Vajrasattva meditation right now. Okay, so that kind of motivation is a motivation that would be shared with the lower scope, right? But here now we get into a little bit more remembering bodhicitta. So then to think, but I'm not practicing this Vajrasattva purification for myself alone. The purpose of my life is to free all hell beings, hungry ghosts, animals, human beings, asuras, suras, and intermediate state beings from all their suffering and its causes, and lead them to the peerless happiness of enlightenment. In order to do this, I must first reach enlightenment myself. Therefore, I must purify all my negative karmas immediately by practicing this Vajrasattva meditation. Okay. So here, I say this is included in the power of reliance. So normally, reliance, we normally talk about refuge, but since we are aspiring Mahayana practitioners, it is both taking refuge and generating bodhicitta. Okay. All right. So now the visualization. This visualization is, written with the Vajrasattva father and mother, right? The Vajrasattva with father and mother. There's this picture. Oh, by the way, this is another great book that's available. Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Teachings from the Vajrasattva Retreat. This is actually, the PDF is available as a free download on Lama Yeshe Wisdom Archive. So it is, probably around 600-700 pages. Yeah, 665 pages. And I see Tenzin Namjong is there, right? In this, he talks about the Mitrukpa mantra as well. So this is a whole, wealth of resources about various aspects of the practice, not just the Vajrasattva practice, okay? Okay, so there is this, this version of the Vajrasattva with the wisdom mother. But this is to be visualized only if you have received the highest yoga tantra initiation. Otherwise, you should visualize the solitary aspect of Vajrasattva, i.e., that is, without a wisdom mother, his right hand holding a Vajra at his heart, and his left hand resting on his thigh and holding a bell. Okay, so let me do this. Can you see this picture of Vajrasattva? Yes? No?
No, Venerable. We still see the video.
Okay, let me stop the share and do a reshare. Now? Vajrasattva?
Not yet.
Loading.
Yes.
Okay. So this is what we mean with the Vajrasattva, solitary Vajrasattva without, the wisdom mother. Okay. Now I'll go back to the sadhana. Okay. So above the crown of my head, seated upon a lotus and moon. So here, if you don't have the initiation, you just make it into, solitary Vajrasattva. So you can just say, is Vajrasattva. His holy body is white with one face and two arms. Vajrasattva holds a Vajra and bell. Okay. Then don't worry about this, embracing each other. So then Vajrasattva is adorned with the 6 mudras, wisdom mother with 5. Okay, so I know some of you do have the initiation. Some of you, who are watching do have high Soga Tantra initiation. So I'm not going to go into the whole details, right? But this I can say, right? So Vajrasattva is associated with the 6 mudras. So the 6 mudras, okay? Let me go back to just the picture, okay? So the 6 mudras are also sometimes known as the 6 ornaments. Okay, so we have the crown ornament, and by the way, so the wisdom mother has 5. The father Vajrasattva has 6. Okay, but the 5 of them are symbolic of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, or they say the 5 Buddha families. So you remember from the 35 Buddhist practice, we had the rows, right? The first row in the aspect of Akshobhya, right? Amitabha, Vairochana, Ratnasambhava, and Amoghasiddhi, right? So those 5 are the 5 so-called Buddha families. Okay, so now these 5 ornaments also are symbolic of the 5 Buddha families. So the greater sort of symbolism here is well, a little bit of the symbolism is, so Vajrasattva is actually, the embodiment of, it has all the same qualities of all the Buddhas, but now is appearing in this form, right? Or we, even better to think, our guru is now appearing in this form, fully endowed with all the characteristics of the 5 Buddha families, but appearing in this form to help us purify our negative karma. So the first ornament is the crown ornament. So this is symbolic of Akshobhya, right? And well, yeah, we can think of these 5 Buddha families, I'll just mention in a brief way, right? So Akshobhya also, we can think is, all these Buddha families represent a fully purified aggregate, right? So we have, the 5 aggregates, aggregate of form, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness, right? Yes. So each of the 5 Buddha families represents one of the, purified of the 5 aggregates. They also represent a fully purified version of, one of the 5 delusions. And then later we'll get into this, but there's also the 5 wisdoms. And so in the Vajrasattva mantra, ha, 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 ho, toward the end. So that's actually symbolic of the 5 wisdoms. And anyway, just one thing to know now, so all of the various Buddhas, they have all the same qualities, the same realizations, and all of them have fully completed all 5 wisdoms. It just, happens to be this presentation that one is more associated with one particular wisdom. One is more associated with fully purifying one particular aggregate, right? But the point is here, we see in Vajrasattva, right, that possessing all 5 ornaments means all those kinds of realizations, all those purifications that took place, Vajrasattva has. Actually, all the Buddhas have, okay? So anyway, this is a huge topic, but let's maybe, I think that suffices for now. So anyway, so the crown represents Akshobhya, which is the fully purified anger, the fully purified aggregate of consciousness, and represents the mirror-like wisdom. Okay. Then the second is the earrings. Okay, the earrings. Then this represents the Buddha family of Amitabha. And then this is the fully purified delusion of attachment, and the fully purified aggregate of discrimination, and represents the wisdom of sort of individual investigation or discernment. Okay, Sosotope Yeshe, it's called, right? So these 5 wisdoms, it's the word Yeshe, which many of you know, right? So Lama Yeshe, just talking about this kind of exalted wisdom. Okay, so next we have the necklace. You see the necklace here, and this represents the Buddha family of Ratnasambhava, the fully purified delusion of pride, the fully purified aggregate of feeling, and the wisdom of total sameness. Nyamni Yeshe, Nyamni Yeshe. Basically means what is the same? well, all of the phenomena, they are equally the same in lacking inherent existence. Okay. So then we have these armlets and bracelets, right? So we have one on the upper arm and then the one at the wrist, right? Also, sometimes the anklets are included in this. So this is the representing the Buddha Vairochana, which is the fully purified form of ignorance, the fully purified aggregate of form, and represents the wisdom of the Dharma Dhatu, or Chuying Gi Yeshe. Okay, and then we have this. Well, I don't know how they call it, like the belt or the girdle, here around the waist. Okay, so this represents Amoga City, and then this is the fully purified aggregate of mental formations or compositional factors, and the fully purified delusion of jealousy or envy, and represents the all accomplishing wisdom. Okay. Okay. So now that is the 5 mudras. When they talk about 6 mudras, then well, it's it's referred to, ash smeared on the body. Okay. I'll just, ash smeared on the body. So typically there was this tradition of yogis going to the charnel grounds, right? Places where bodies were cremated. Even today, sometimes you see sadhus, who have ash smeared on themselves. Okay. So Vajrasattva is my root guru, the holy mind of all the Buddhas, the Dharmakaya. Out of unbearable compassion encompassing me and all of the sentient beings, my root guru appears in this form to purify me and all sentient beings. Okay. So here it says, thinking in this way, your mind is transformed into guru devotion, the source of all blessings and realizations of the path to enlightenment. So this is, extremely, extremely important point here, right? So remember, we can actually transform any one of our practices into a guru yoga practice. Okay, so don't think just the practice of Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga or Lama Chupa, that's the Guru Yoga, but our other practices aren't. As long as we keep this recognition, right, that even if we're doing this Vajrasattva practice, think that our guru is appearing in the form of Vajrasattva, and then doing the practice with that recognition, with that remembrance, makes it a Guru Yoga practice. And then, if we're doing, Tara or Medicine Buddha practice, whatever we're doing, keep thinking about the inseparability of our virtuous friend, our Guru, with whatever Buddha or, enlightened being that we're practicing. Okay. All right. So next, the power of the remedy. Here is the Vajrasattva mantra recitation, right? So then, we have already visualized Vajrasattva, right, above the crown of our head, and typically this is also done. Vajrasattva is facing the same way as us, right? Sometimes when we are visualizing, if it's in the space in front of us, right, usually they 2 meters in the space in front of us, that's where we typically can also visualize deities, and then they'd be facing us. But when the deity is on the crown of our head, typically we do it, facing the same direction as us. Okay. So then at the center of Vajrasattva, at his heart, right, there's a moon disk, and there's a hum that stands upright. Okay. And then this is encircled by the 100-syllable mantra. Right, 100-syllable mantra is another way of referring to this Vajrasattva long mantra, the long Vajrasattva mantra. And then from this hum and the mantra garland, a powerful stream of white nectar flows, right, from the hum and the mantra garland, and enters the crown of my head, filling my entire body. All my negative karmas, obscurations, sicknesses, and spirit harms are completely purified. Okay. Then you do the recitation here. So here we mentioned 21 times right? So this was made for sort of daily practice. And as we said, the 21 times of the long or 28 times of the short then can stop this doubling effect of karma. So here, it says, for the meaning of the long mantra and its translation, see page 12. Do we have time for that? Yeah, why not? Anyway, it's pretty, those of you who've been studying would know, right? So Om, you see in many mantras, it represents the holy body, speech, and mind. Okay, so remember, Om, it is the combination of the three separate syllables of A, U, and Ma, right? And therefore the A, U, Ma, then those three together represent the body, speech, and mind of all the Buddhas. Vajra Sattva then means the being who has the wisdom of inseparable bliss and emptiness. Samaya, this is what we were saying, Damsik, a pledge, right? That must not be transgressed. Manupalaya, lead me along the path you took to enlightenment. Vajrasattva tenopatita, okay. Make me abide close to Vajrasattva's holy mind. Jiro me bhava, please grant me a stable realization of the ultimate nature of phenomena. Ultimate nature of phenomena, shunyata, emptiness, the fact that they lack even an atom of inherent existence. So here, the Tibetans, we say like sutokayo, okay? Sutokayo mebhava, please grant me the blessings of being extremely pleased with me. Supokayo mebhava, bless me with the nature of well-developed great bliss. Anurakto mebhava, bless me with the nature of love that leads me to your state. Savasiddhi me prayacha, please grant me all the powerful attainments. Savakama suchame, grant all virtuous actions. Chitam shiram kuru, grant me your glorious qualities. Hum, the Vajra holy mind. Ha 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 ho, right? So this is what I referred to earlier, the 5 transcendental wisdoms, the 5, the mirror-like, the wisdom of discernment, the wisdom of total sameness, the wisdom of the Dharma Dhatu, and the all-accomplishing wisdom, right? So Bhagavan, one who has destroyed every obscuration, attained all realizations and passed beyond suffering. Sarva-tathagata, then Vajra, though all those who realize emptiness, knowing things just as they are. Mame munsa, do not abandon me. Vajribhava, the nature of indestructible inseparability. Maha Samaya Sattva, the great being who has the Samaya, the Vajra holy mind. Ahum Pe, the Vajra speech, transcendental wisdom of great bliss, and clarifying the transcendental wisdom of inseparable bliss and emptiness, and destroying the dualistic mind that obstructs its attainment. Okay, so that's a kind of word-by-word translation. But when we go, try to put it all together, you, Vajrasattva, have attained the holy mind of bodhicitta according to your Samaya. Your holy mind is enriched with a simultaneously born holy action of liberating transmigratory